Hello, and thank you so much for joining us for Coffee Conversations. We have with us our special guest, Shirley Bolden, our Health Services Director, Mr. David Culbreth, our Student Activities Director, and Mr. Lindsay Whitley, our Associate Superintendent of Communications and Community Engagement. Thank you all for joining us today. We are going to have a conversation today about our 2021-2022 back to school plans. And Ms. Bolden, I would love to kick it off with you. Can you talk to us a little bit about the COVID-19 protocols that will be in place for our 2021-2022 school year?
Okay, we have many things that we'll be doing this school year. We're going to reinforce and practice proper hand washing. We're going to be reinforcing respiratory etiquette. We're going to send home students and employees who are not well. In addition to that, we're going to stay 3 feet apart for students, and we're going to maintain 6 feet distance with adults, to the greatest extent possible. We are hoping that we will be able to provide students with, just that great experience of being back in the building, but keeping them safe at the same time with those protective measures.
Mm-hmm. So last year we had some screeners, the temperature checks for students prior to entering the building and mask requirements. Will those things exist for the upcoming school year?
We will not be screening at the building, but we have a job for mom and dad. We want mom and dad to screen those babies before they send them to school. So if they have any of the COVID-19 symptoms, if they have diarrhea, if they have an upset stomach, if they have a sore throat, if they have a headache, all they need is one symptom. If they have one symptom, we will want you to keep your baby at home, follow up with your primary care provider so that we can keep schools open and keep everyone well. As far as, what was your next question?
The mask requirements?
We are doing universal masking. So that means everybody pre-K through 12th grade, to include staff during our regular school day, will be masking.
Okay. Thank you so much for sharing that. So as we ended the school year last year, we did have a COVID-19 dashboard for Cumberland County Schools that was available to families regarding COVID cases in their schools. Will that be an option for families this school year, and how will they access that dashboard?
Yes, we actually have revised the dashboard. You go to the Cumberland County Schools homepage, click on the global icon that says COVID-19 dashboard. And once you enter the dashboard, you're going to find 4 reporting periods. So on each dashboard, you'll be able to get a month at a glance of the entire district. And then you'll be able to go down a little further. We're going to be able to show you all the quarantines for the district, all the positives, what our case positivity rate was at the end of each one of those weeks. In addition to that, if we've had any clusters. Now, another thing that's really great about this dashboard is that you can go in and say you got a child in elementary school, a child in middle school, and one in high, you can just go in there, click, say I'm at John Griffin. I can click John Griffin and I can see the number of quarantines and positives. If I'm over at the high school at Jack Britt, same difference. If I have a child at Stony Point, I can see all the information. So as a mom, if I have kids at multiple levels, I can get a quick glance of that data and know exactly what's happening in that building.
Okay, that I know makes parents feel better to at least know what's going on in the schools as we deal with COVID-19. So Mr. Culbreth, we have been waiting patiently for Friday Night Lights. And we know students have been practicing, the bands have been practicing, our athletes have been practicing. With the new updates and decisions, how will they impact sports?
Well, I believe it will be positively. I think Ms. Bolden, through her informative sharing and contributing to all the information, keeping us updated, it's going to do wonders. We're trying to keep kids safe. We're trying to protect in-person learning. We want to play sports, though. The social and emotional well-being of kids, we've all been in tune to those discussions. And there's nothing greater than a child's dream, whether it's playing in the band, playing on the football team. And in order to do that, we have to all work together to pay attention to what medical professionals are telling us, the science, the best practices. And at the same time, you have to talk to the medical professionals about what it is to play football outside in the heat. And so I think the guidance and the guide that's been provided has a great common sense approach to both of those aspects. It defines roles for everybody, when you should wear your mask, what wearing a mask means, the situations, the toolkit, listening to what's been presented. We know that when we're on a bus, we're going to need to mask up. But our guidance also takes into account when you're playing football and it's 96 degrees outside, it's difficult to run up and down a field with a mask on. So it's a comprehensive plan for all parties involved. It's the game, it's the officials, it's the contestants, it's the coaches, it's the spectators. This guidance gives directions to all those individuals. And it's going to take all of those individuals adhering to the guidance so that we can keep playing the game. So I think the plan is in place. And now I think it's all of our jobs to go out and study and read that information and agree together that we're going to execute the plan. Nobody wants to wear a mask. Let's just be honest about that. But if it's going to keep us safe, if it's going to keep us in school, and it's going to allow us to play the game, we've got to do it.
So thank you so much for sharing that. As you talked about with guidance from the medical professionals, from Ms. Bolden and her team regarding the toolkit that's available to families to know what is required as a spectator, as an athlete, and anyone participating in our student activities, that
Sure.
Toolkit is available. So the next question kind of fits for Mr. Whitley and Ms. Bolden regarding our mask requirements. Will the mask requirements be in place for CCS all year?
We will. You want me to start, Lindsay?
Yes, go ahead.
We will monitor our metrics, hospitalizations, our case positivity rate. And then as we make improvement, because we're very hopeful that things are going to get better, then we will meet as a leadership team and then present recommendations to the Board of Education, whether it is to remain with universal masking or to modify that action.
And I would just add that that's why it's very important. We want our kids to remain in school for in-person learning. And we've heard from the experts, and we know at this time, based on the metrics, we need to wear a mask while we're at schools, while we're on our school transportation. So no one wants to wear the mask, but we know that's the best thing for us at this time. So if we are all on board and we work together, I believe we can get through this sooner rather than later. And before you know it, the metrics will improve. And at some point in time, we're hopeful that we won't require masks in our school buildings. But for now, it is universal masking. And I want to also just say that even if we have visitors coming to our schools, we will be asking them to wear a mask as well.
Thank you for sharing that. So in the next 30 days, it's a busy time. It's already mid-August. I can't even believe it. And so in the next 30 days, we know families are preparing. They're getting school supplies. We have school clothes and all of that kind of thing that is going on. And for each one of you, you play a role in some of the things that parents are preparing for. So Mr. Whitley, I'll just start with you. Our open house information for our parents. Can you provide us with some guidance for that?
Yes, the open house information for schools will differ based upon your child's school. So we encourage you to visit the Cumberland County Schools website to find a link to our back to school guide. But also we ask you to visit individual school websites or contact your child's school. In many cases, there is a virtual open house available for families, and there are some in-person options as well. So please check with your child's school, visit the CCS website for more information.
Okay. And Mr. Culbreth, again, we're thinking about sports. We're thinking about Friday Night Lights. We're thinking about watching our student athletes play and participate. Will families be able to join in the stands this year for our sporting events, particularly as we get ready to start our fall season?
Absolutely. Right now, there's been no discussion on limiting occupancy. We do want to social distance where we can. We like to keep doing our best practices. Sit together with your family group when possible, and continue to social distance. And again, I want to come back to our guidance on the mask. We want to encourage and recommend everyone that attends our games to wear their masks so that we can keep protecting that in-person learning, and to keep doing all the things that our kids are so invested in, their dreams, their goals. We want to keep them in the game, in the band, involved in ROTC drill activities, all those things that just make the school experience so exciting. And to do that, I want to keep reiterating how important it is for all of us to do our part.
Okay. And Ms. Bolden, our students are coming back in the building. Those immunizations and health records and those things that we traditionally had in place are still part of what happens when you come into the school building. So can you talk to us about our immunizations for students? What are the requirements for those documentations? And as students return, what is the process for their student health forms?
Okay, so let's start with the immunizations. For immunizations, the parents have 30 days from the child's first day of attendance to present those records. Okay, and it's not 30 school days, it's 30 calendar days. At the end of that 30th calendar day, if the immunization record has not been received and it is updated by your primary care provider, your child will be dismissed from school. Now, if you are in kindergarten, you are a first-time attendee in a North Carolina public school, you must also have a North Carolina health assessment with a revision date of 2016. That health assessment must be received by your school 30 days after your first day of attending class. Now, what if you say, oh, I'm a virtual parent, I don't have to attend, we're not in person. It applies to the virtual learner too. So if you're attending one of our academies, you too have 30 days from the first day of attendance online to submit the required documentation.
Great information so that parents can begin to plan for re-entering to school and what things they want to make sure that they have in place. As we, again, want to keep in mind our COVID-19 protocols, we do know that this year, unlike last year, COVID-19 testing is available for students due to some federal funding that has been received. Ms. Bolden, can you provide some insight into the option for students for COVID-19 testing?
Yes, we're going to be offering antigen testing at every school, K through 12, in the district. Parents have the right to opt in. Want to let you know that you can withdraw your consent at any time. We're going to be posting a video very soon that shows you an example of what it will look like for kids. We have a very, it's a non-invasive procedure. It's not what you're accustomed to seeing when you go out to your regular physician and they do the nasal and they go all the way. Your kids are not going to have that experience, but we're going to post a video because we know we have a lot of questions about that. So we'll make sure you can see that. We're going to be testing once a week. And whatever day your child's test on, for example, if you're at Alger B. Wilkins and your child's test day is Tuesday, it will be Tuesday every day. It will be Tuesday every month. So we'll be there every Tuesday of the week that your child is in attendance.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that. And I think that's very important for our families to know there are many options and protocols that CCS has put in place to protect our students and protect our staff while we plan in-person learning for the upcoming school year. To each of you, is there any additional information that you would like to provide to families? Mr. Culbreth, we'll start with you.
Well, last year, we learned a lot of things as we dealt with the pandemic. Our virtual learning skills increased, our capabilities increased. And one thing that happened on the athletic side is we started doing online ticketing. And we had no cash sales last year, and everything you could go on your phone or go on the web and you could get your ticket. And you came in, you didn't have to wait in line. You just got scanned and went through. And everybody seemed to love that process. We also still understand that it's a cash world. And so we're going to have a hybrid option this year. You can come and you can pay in cash. Or if you want to skip the line and buying the traditional ticket, you can still go to the school's website and go through hometown ticketing and get that ticket. We didn't want to take that option away from our parents and our families and stakeholders this year. So the hybrid option is new. We're going to do it all year long. We're going to look at the data at the end of the year and study that. And then we're going to remind we have concessions back. And so that should be popular because we all have been missing the nachos and the popcorn. So that's back. And then I just want to say ncprepsports.net. Mike Moline has a great website that we utilize. It has a lot of information about our students and the conferences that we belong to. It has all of our schedules. We use this website for quick updates, for playoff information. So I would want our stakeholders to be familiar with that website because it truly is something that can give families quick information about athletics in Cumberland County. And then finally, just remind everybody, let's stay safe, let's stay in school, and let's be there for our kids no matter what it takes. We're going to do it all for our children.
Thank you for sharing that. And we have learned some things with COVID-19. So glad to see those opportunities being implemented for our families for the upcoming season. Ms. Bolden, any additional information that you would like to share with our families?
Yes, I would like to encourage families not to send their child to school if they are pending a test result or if someone in the home has tested positive. We will make sure that your child has access to the curriculum. They'll be able to log in through Canvas. Want you to notify your principal, and then you will be getting a call from one of the Cumberland County Schools contact tracers to establish a quarantine timeline for you. So we really want to keep our buildings open. We want kids ready so they can go out to Friday Night Lights or either, perform in the band. So we can do that if everyone, sticks to honoring quarantine and isolation guidelines.
Thank you. And Mr. Whitley, you have two parts. Any additional information you would like to leave with families? And also, as your department works on spreading the information and necessary valuable information for our families, where will families be able to find updated information as they prepare to return to school?
Thank you. First of all, I just want to say thank you to everyone for their patience and for their grace. Over the past year and a half, we have navigated through a lot, and things are evolving. Even now, some of the things we say in a week or two, they may be updated by the state or they may change. So we ask for everyone's patience as we prepare for our back to school season, and just continue to stay connected to the school system. We call you almost every Sunday Please answer the call when we call your homes. We want to provide you with up-to-date information. So I just want to say we're focused on the whole child, as we always have done, but especially this year. We're focused on the social emotional needs of our students as well as our staff members. So we want to extend grace to each other this school year and stay connected. In response to your question, for more information, we have put together a comprehensive back to school guide, and you may visit the link that is on the screen, and it is a one-stop shop where you can find all things back to school. So we have a lot of updates for you related to school meals. Like, did you know that this year you don't have to pay for your child's meal? Based on federal guidelines, you can receive a free meal for your child, but go to the CCS website for more information. Additionally, we have that back to school open house information. We have all the information regarding athletics and extracurricular activities and immunizations. So we really just tried to compile everything families needed to know in one place. So visit the CCS website today. And as always, reach out to your child's school with any questions or concerns. You may also reach out to the district office. I believe it's going to be a great year. We're excited about returning to in-person learning. And if we all continue to work together, I know that we will get through this together. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, all three of you, for joining us today. Thank you, Ms. Bolden, for your time, Mr. Culbreth, and also Mr. Whitley. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, families, for joining us for another episode of Coffee Conversations. We hope that we are able to give you some guidance as you prepare for the 2021-2022 school year. Thank you for joining us and have a wonderful day.